Banana and Bears Rugby Pod.
Oh, there she is. I haven't heard her in ages.
Do you know what? I was going to do some sort of attempt at an epic. Hello, are we back? Is Anna there? But no, that's perfect. You got so excited when you heard the woman say that we were recording. Welcome everybody. We're finally made it back. Yeah, I mean, you know what? It's Banana and Bears Rugby Podcast. Anna slash Edwin a Dogbo is over there on the other side, and I'm fair excited to be back. I came running down. I had to do a quick thing the second I came in the gate, and the goats chased me. Um, they're fucking mental. They chased me all the way to the front door. But I was
Poor
running.
Jordan and Wycliffe and friends.
I know, but I was trotting down along the driveway like little Tobo. I was so excited to do the rugby part again. Just back with Anna
Um,
going, let's talk pure shite for an hour and see what happens. See if any rugby shows up in the middle of it. But
well, we are very thoughtful because I share your excitement. Like we're finally back, and I'm sure many listeners also. And I genuinely mean that. But
yeah,
we've been very disciplined because we have waited exactly till now so that we could pick up some of the excitement of that might be missing around Irish rugby at the moment. So thanks for bearing with us, but we hope it will pay off in that like if you if you compare the excitement with like our recordings like before the World Cup even,
y-
Jesus, we could barely sit still like
I
for some of those.
I know, and do you know what? As Anna said, like truthfully, we were going to start this like 3 weeks ago and run in, but we said no. We'd see if we really need to pull the mood of the nation up out of the
Yeah.
fucking from underneath a sod of turf that they all seem to be in at the minute. Because right now it's fucking in a dark place. Hey, before we get to any of that, fuck all them people. You've been
Mm.
in County Louth for
Until I-
were you there 2 months or 6 weeks or how long were you there?
three months. 3 months.
What?
Yeah. October. No, sorry. November, December, January. Yeah.
Okay, that's
Two two tournaments. First with the men's team for the first 6 weeks, and we went to Sea Games, which is like the Southeast Asian Olympics, essentially like a massive deal, like huge send off and everything, and opening ceremonies and all this. And then went. I after that was done and had like a break for Christmas when we came back in the new year. I worked with the women's and the men's team, and we were preparing for Singapore Sevens, but it's not. It's the regional Southeast Asian competition again. Not domestic, but yeah, regional competition on the Friday before Singapore Seven starts. So yeah, it was unbelievable. Like unbelievable for me professionally. Like so cool to live over there for a while. It was roasting, lovely weather. Like I was able to just fully focus on like the rugby, like my role. Do you know if you're coaching now, like you fucking everyone has so much to do, and like only the top tier of coaches get to coach full time.
yeah.
Like everyone else is like planning their session as they're putting on their boots, like because they're so busy. This was just so great. I was able to just completely take time off. It was good for my head as well, like just focus solely on the coaching role, and it was fucking class.
Did you so you technically like you got to work on like a top tier professional coach?
Hmm.
Like so all responsibilities of regular Irish life or French life were just taken away. You were just like, right, I'm here and this
Yeah.
is me all in. That's class.
Yeah.
You
It
sent me
was class.
I got some funny stuff off Anna. Like she's yeah, the training evening one evening, and I think the nets was there nets over the pitch or something. I was looking at it. It was either way. You were like, we have to clear these bunch of fuckers off the there was a bunch of lads out playing before you or something, and here's my lads over in the corner smoking fags or something like that.
I wonder, was that the GAA team?
It could have been. I think it was actually. Yeah, there was a bunch of what looked like pure Irish lads. Let me.
Oh
I
yeah.
let me just
Yeah, and I
see.
was
Can I?
raging. I was raging because like I had if I think this is what we're talking about. I had the women's team at a different pitch, and then like literally bang, finish, hop on my Suzuki motorbike around the corner up the road to the other pitch. And I told the lads this I'd be late, like, so get your warm up done, prep them for their warm up, and then sure I arrived on and they were just there swinging their arms. Like,
Yeah, I don't know. Does that picture make any sense to you? Because is that the GA team, that one?
I can't really see.
It's lads in they're playing a game like there's lads in yellow and white or whatever, but you just had got to waiting for these bastards to get off the pitch, and the
Well,
subs
maybe that's
are all on the
soccer.
sidelines. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I think it was soccer or whatever.
Oh yeah, yeah. Actually, that makes more sense. Still the same thing, swinging their arms. Do you know, like I literally had to make it a rule: no more doing this. Like when you're warming up. That is it, everyone. Like this isn't a loud thing. This is fucking internet. The All Blacks do this shit. Like if they're not focused on their warming up.
Just swinging their little helicopters. Yeah, yeah. My son does
A
that when he's
Chinook.
6.
It's the
Yeah,
isn't the
Chinook. Yeah,
Chinook
yeah,
the
the
one
two.
with the
Yeah, yeah,
two?
yeah, 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 yeah. So it's not Laos, it's Lao.
Sorry, did I say Lao? No, Laos is the country. Lao is the people and the language. So I get it wrong, but it is Laos. The country is
So
Laos.
so anybody from County Laois, we're just going to call him Lao from now on. Like that's it now. That's
Yeah.
it. Yeah, yeah, yeah. It's the excitement of coming back, and I was we were going to go last week, and we're just whatever which way you were back, and then you were gone. Oh, you were gone to France again. You were gone to
That's
France.
right. Now they play
Perping,
under 20s, yeah.
yeah, the Perpignan.
Mm. Yeah, yeah. Strange because it's actually in Perpignan 1 year ago that I got my concussion.
Yeah, yeah. Jakers.
Mm.
What was
I
that
know.
like? Was it eerie,
You
or were you like, ah,
do you know what? I had a great weekend. We had a fucking great weekend, like with the crowd, like Scottish guy on main comms, I was co-comms, and then just meeting people from like France TV and stuff like that. And God, there was a meal beforehand. French, sit down, big forks, cheese,
Did you know
on
what?
pitch
Did you know what to do
champagne.
with the fork, Anna? Did
I did.
you?
I did. I stood up and made a speech.
Good.
Um, yeah, yeah. So it was class. It was cool to be back in France. Like I actually miss it so much. Like it's what a great place. So like it was really cool to go back. I thought the under 20s were like good. In like I'm excited to see how they'll go in the rest of the campaign because France are another flipping level completely.
I often get, I get surprised when under 20s. Do you know what I mean? When they can put it together. Do you know, and actually play as a team? Because you're like, oh, you're almost like Babas to a degree. Like, 'cause you're just under 20s.
Mhm.
Like, you've just been taken, slapped together and went, right, we get a couple of training sessions in and see how it goes. Much like do you know, the select 15. You're like, sure, what do you expect out of a fucking team? Like, that has only just been slapped together. Like, you know what I mean? It's with all completely different defensive setups, attack setups.
Yeah, but France is the same then. So you're
I
going up against
suppose,
that
yeah.
in kind of like for like in those situations. But the difference is that like, and I said this in the other podcast I did yesterday, that like when you go reading about the players beforehand, like all of the Irish fellas are talking about like as a general, and we know this is the case anyway, but as a general trend on kind of Google results of all the players, like schoolboy accolades, schoolboy this, one professional appearance for Tom Wood like the week before. And there's one other player with another professional appearance. It slips my mind now. But then you go and you research the French players, and it's like top 14, Pro D2, Champions Cup. Like the kid who came off the bench, Luca Angi Seramachi.
What
Like
a
what a
name.
name! Yeah,
What a name.
he'll play as long as he's lucky in everything he does. He'll play for France. But like he's one of Rogers like wonder kids. But he captained. He's still under 20. Like is he 18, 19? He might even have another year of under 20. But he captained the Champions Cup squad that they sent down to South Africa to play the Bulls before
What?
Christmas. Mm.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so you're up against that. Like I suppose it's what for me. It's mad that France ever slip. Do you know what I mean? They ever go a bit shite, like you know,
Well,
like
I agree with that. Like, why do we ever beat them? Why?
yeah, like how
Why
do
are
we?
we ever in conversation with them? I get it. It does make sense. And there's this big, chat around like the age profile of things and Jesus, people. I'm sorry, I looked at the comments, but people were like, "What the fuck is she talking about?" Because I was like, I'm not a huge fan of like the age of the squad. I didn't actually say that. It was Mike Sherry said that, but I was like, are these the players that are going to play in the World Cup? Like, I genuinely don't think that some of those players, and we'll get into it properly in a minute, but I don't think that that should be the World Cup squad. So where you're not going to place them, you're not going to replace them with older players. So where are the younger players? Like, I get it, you mature later. So it just so happens that you have a more mature squad than others in Ireland. But like, it's not the worst thing, but when do you actually open the gates up to let the younger kids in? When does that actually happen is the thing, because we can't keep wheeling out Bundyaki forever.
I know. It is odd you say that because I did a thing for Culture Week. I think was it just 2 weeks ago, and it was myself and Johnny B of the two Johnnies. We're just interviewed by these three very funny kids. I say kids, they were fifth years or whatever in
Oh,
their
cool.
school, and it was a great assembly room. It was like this amphitheater. But I was looking around, and the lads had all their questions prepared, and it was so funny. Like they had their answers to our questions prepared. Um, and thank you for that, Tom. Moving to you, you know.
Yeah,
But what I
they got
noticed,
that from fucking GPT.
I
So
know, I know, I know, but the amount of owl-looking children in that room, I don't know, is something happening? We might be in for an absolute windfall in a couple of years because young fellas nowadays, and I mean right nowadays, big, like those two lads sitting in the front row that were in fifth year. One of them looked like he'd a mortgage. The other looked like he'd a wife and kids out in the fucking car. Like they were owls, big, strong looking fucking mad young fellas. I don't know, like maybe that's where we're going wrong. We need to get these fucking cultures that drive Land Cruisers to school.
but sorry, you talk about culchies. We're not getting enough culchies into rugby.
Yeah,
Like, and there's that direct competition with the schoolboy system where traditionally, the culchies aren't, part of the most competitive strands of that. There's, have you read bits of Ross O'Carroll Kelly?
yeah, of course. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Oh, I love it so much. There's one part of one book, can't remember which one, where he's like, we had to go down to like the depths of Ross Cray, and the way they talk to each other on the pitch, like, sure, get up the field there now, and it's obviously written like that.
It was written like something like Shane Messini would write. Yeah, 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 yeah.
Are
For
you saying like it was a nightmare? We never thought we'd get out of there. They were wearing wellies.
yeah, yeah, but hey, you joke, but that is still the view of a lot of people as to what is in the countryside like.
We are Ireland, and like you talk about the what's his face? The Fogarty was on about like the lads will have to show their character now. It's like character is in the wellies, like like
And
fucking
coming from the right fella too, a fucking farmer from up the road here in Duella, like he like.
yeah, yeah.
But you look at some of the most prominent players that we've had back down through the years. This is a great, actually. Andy Dunn was on the other day, maybe talking that maybe we should be a kicking team. Go away to fuck, Andy. We need a team of cultures. You look at some of the most animalistic cultures we've ever had. Sean O'Brien, John Hayes, Dennis Leamy. Some of the most ferociously physical, proper fucking cultures.
Mm.
This is where we need to be going, Anna. I'm telling you, them young fellas that I looked at the other day, they would beat the shit out of half the Irish fucking rugby team, and they were in fifth year. Big beards on them and everything.
Yeah.
And one lad, I looked over and even I made a point of saying it about it. And even Johnny B went, you think that? And he knew them all because they were all junior hurlers and stuff. They all played hurling. They all played hurling. He says, look at that lad. This young fella in the second row, I could see his shoulders on both sides of the lad in front of him. He must have been 4 foot wide. Big, massive pair of hands on him. And this lad genuinely brings his own Land Cruiser to school. Like, that's who you want. Turning up to
But
training with a Land Cruiser.
but you're absolutely right, because this is where the recruitment needs to happen. Like, if those fellas are playing hurling, they're that size. They're not going to make it in hurling. Not like they
No,
want to make it either, but like if you can offer them something, like they are valuable. Like they are golden nuggets on a rugby field. Like there's not enough digging like in the rest of the country going on. It's too easy. And as well, I made this point the other day as well, like in terms of like recruitment and like, the schoolboy level and the level at which you start to find your professional players, there's not too much pressure on it because we've done so well the last few years.
but see,
Like,
that's an awful way to run a business. Like, you know what I mean?
oh,
You're all you're doing is spending your bottom line all the time rather than, looking how
sorry,
to,
Tom, we're from Munster.
yeah,
Look
I
at
know.
the carry on since we won Champions Cups. Like, the first question asked on the Monday morning was like, right, how do we win? How do we win it again next year? First of all, but how do we win it in 10 years' time?
Yeah.
And never was that asked or answered. Or maybe that's a bit harsh now, but it hasn't been done well enough.
Well, yeah, it's like if I circle, go right back to 99, you would have been only a chiseler. 99, I captained our schools team, and we were allowed to have a schools team because our new principal was into rugby, and the previous principal hated the idea of that thing. Um, but we were able to we well, not cobble together a team because we had three clubs: Clanwilliam, Kilfeacle, and Galway, all going there. Got Alan Quinlan to train us, but I poached at least four lads that were Gaelic footballers that in sixth year were over 6 foot. And there was two brothers. One went on, both two went to the wings. Two 6 foot lads went to the wings. And they knew nothing about rugby, but they knew timing, pace, athleticism, and they knew speed. And you want to
No.
see one went on actually, and he played. I don't know, did he play with Gary Owen or like? And the other lad went back and played county football with Tipperary. But the other guy stuck with it because somebody spotted and went, "Hold on, you don't get these young fellas showing up." And two big farmer cultures, and it was mostly cultures in amongst it. And but it seemed at the time that was this is a genius thing. Johnny Lacey, I remember, had a job before he became a referee of he would go out to schools with balls and bollards and let the school have them. And that was kind of it. But it seemed to be done in a few places, but it fizzled out. They never, like, there was lads on that team.
What is that? Letting a load of people dropping off a load of balls. You need to be calling at the door, making sure the coaches are know what they're doing. The coaches feel confident that they know what they're doing. Like dropping off a load of balls.
Well, you need, like, there's almost like you remember that movie what was it, for Ole Miss? And Sandra Bullock was in it. Was it called The Bright Side or The Height Side? Or do you remember? It's a true story of this kid that she spotted and basically said, "Here, listen." And this is almost like the Edmund Adogbo story, where he was going down to play a game of tennis in Cove and somebody went, "Where the fuck are you going?" Size you. Tennis. And they went, "No, no, you want to get you playing rugby."
Are you talking about the fella that she adopted?
Yes. Yeah, that one.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
But like there was man-sized children playing on our team. Like, I'm not saying I should be looked at, but I loved rugby, so I was going to always go and play a bit anyway. But I didn't have the prospect of going all the way to Ireland. But some of these lads, you're looking, going, Jesus Christ above, and they
My
were driving it.
point.
They
That's
were
my
pulling.
point.
They were pulling out a cattle at the weekend. They were fucking driving a tractor, fucking. But these monsters do exist. I
No
know this.
one is no
This
one is showing them the interest to
no.
come. That's the thing. That's where
And
that's
they keep on saying, "Oh, well, South Africa has these units." They do, but have you seen the size of some of the units? I could, like, my kid and his school. I don't know. Maybe it's nutrition or whatever. They're all, even my young fella's like, he's going to be way taller than me. They're all huge already. But what are they?
mm.
What are they being absolutely? I won't say coerced, but they're being absolutely nurtured into hurling and GA. And all my young fella wants is rugby. But
Mm.
there isn't really an avenue unless I forcefully take him to it. But fuck me,
But
hurling.
that's actually the point.
Yeah,
Unless your parents are pushing you along, like it won't fall. Rugby rarely falls into your lap. But like the thing about, like, to go back to Andy Dunn's point, like we should be one of the best kicking
of course.
teams and like aerial teams in the world. And I only discovered that. I was been saying this about the women's team for years. Like I only discovered that when I went down to play in Australia. I'm sure I told you this before as well. And the kicker, like we'd scored a try, and the kicker like lines up directly back in a straight line, runs forward, toe bogs, like
What?
goes wide. And I was like, me and Aoife were like, what's going on here? Like, is she really the best kicker? And she was the best kicker. Like, she wasn't bad. But in terms of natural kicking ability, I was like, me or Aoife could do that, no bother. Like, do you want us to kick for you? Because, like,
That's
then,
scandalous.
oh, but they don't play a kicking sport growing up.
Right.
They play rugby,
Jesus.
they play touch. They don't play soccer, and they certainly don't play gas. Sorry, there's AFL, but I feel like if you're in AFL, there's kind of, you don't really come back to the other side, or it's not.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
don't know.
yeah.
Those AFL athletes aren't found in rugby, really, but they can be found in Irish rugby for sure. Like the kids doing both sports throughout school, they're the key. They're the
Yeah.
ones.
Yeah. Yeah. Like I did a course the other night because I won't say I've been coerced, but because I go to the hurling and football training so much, they went, well, Tom, there's a fella dropping out. We're trying to get 3 or 4 people
Oh,
as coaches. I went, I'd love to. I'd love to. Do you know what? I need to experience new things anyway because I'm writing a new show for next year. But they said, look, you got to go do these 2 course nights. I went, fine. Yeah, let's do them. To see the passion in this fella that was doing the first night of the course the other night, and his psychological tricks he had for these two, they were like 2 prop kids that they brought along to show us just little touches of how he got these kids fucking loving the moment of soloing with a beanbag on a hurley. These are tiny people, like they were like 4 and 5. They were fucking loving it. You know what I mean? Because of
yeah, yeah, yeah.
just the little cue words he used. But you're going to look at this for order. There was 26 of us on a Tuesday night in a pissing rain, fucking, GA Hall in Kappa White. And you're going, there isn't a hope any of these kids will ever get this nurturing when it comes to rugby. Like, do you know what I mean? It not a
Yeah.
prayer,
No.
but and it will never get to that. And in one way, fucking that's fine because it is our native sport and stuff like that. But to see the passion that this guy, he would have done. I'm sure he was getting paid, but I'm sure he would have done this for free. He talked, I mean, and performed in front of us these training drills, and then ran us as well through these drills, which I was loving. I was fucking loving it. Being back
Yeah,
out,
oh
I was.
yeah. All the dads and mams like getting pure competitive, like fucking dropping a
Well,
shoulder. Like,
what I noticed was a load of people like had absolutely no skills at all. They were just being part of the community. They had no skills, and I'm like, motherfucker, give me the ball, But what I took away from it was that this guy, he was all about like a damn near cult like indoctrination, but in a really nice way. How the kids will end up loving it if you can just get them early enough. Never tell them they're doing badly. Tell them they're doing class. Just give them all the touches. And I'm like, Jesus Christ, if we had this or anything close to this level on a national level in rugby, going on how good, look, we'd be fucking unstoppable.
there was, and I totally agree. And to kind of add to that, there was some soccer player. I don't know soccer players, but it was just a clip from on social media. He was from the north, really strong kind of northern English accent, and he met with 2 English players. My God, who was it? And he was like, "How did you get into rugby? Like, when you were younger?" And the first I was like, "Oh, my dad got me." And then the second fellow was like, "Free food."
Yeah. Wow.
And I think he meant it as like a bit of a joke, but also not really.
Was he from a
But
disadvantaged area where Grove wasn't that
could
a
have been, could have
right?
been. I worked with Harlequins Foundation, and like that's the charity side, and every Premiership club has a charity side, right? So one of my objectives and one of our like KPIs was like, how many kids are you getting into rugby, and how many of them are on free school meals? How many of them are from what's the term? Like, yeah, basically a kind of an underprivileged area, postcodes, things like that. You take all that data just to see what kinds of players you're picking up. But
Ooh,
every Premiership club will have that. So I was kind of given like free reign. I'd go into the schools and then I invite them to like a hub, a Harlequins hub in a local um rugby club, and there is a free meal afterwards. I also started like a homework club because a big thing from the girls was like,
wow. Okay, that's yeah.
yeah, big thing from the girls is like, we don't have time, we have too much study. I was like, okay, well, so what if you did an hour of homework, an hour of rugby, and then you got a free school meal or sorry, a free hot meal included, and that was provided for by Harlequins Foundation. Like, unbelievable. Like, Munster needs to be doing that. Leinster needs to be doing that. Like Ulster Connacht, like the little hubs like that, helping out the clubs and bring them together. Homework club, rugby, free meal. Who could you pick up and bring into the game? Like,
Oh my God. Yeah.
mm.
I don't know. I suppose the free meal definitely for the cultures too would be a good one if you could get them in there. So because cultures love to eat.
100%. But young kids aren't eating enough, and it's hard, like, and
Mm,
harder for parents to be putting like feeding young kids. Well, I tell you something about Laos, right? When we went to the Sea Games, and like Lao eating culture is very much like if you're sitting down with your family, there's probably a massive family. There's probably not that much income in general. Not that like the players were hugely underprivileged, but just in general, that's how it is, you know.
mm.
Very much picking at the food, slow eating, sharing with everyone. They're not eating enough, right? A lot of them were quite skinny. Had some big boys as well, as I was calling them, like, but in general, they weren't eating enough protein or carbs, right?
Yeah.
And in when we got to the Sea Games, um, I said we were playing on the Saturday, and we had a team meeting. Must have been Thursday night,
Right.
and I said to them, "Tomorrow is the best day to be a rugby player." And they were like, "Okay." And then it goes through the translator, and they're all there nodding away. And then they were like, "Oh, you mean Saturday?" I was like, "No, tomorrow, Friday." You know why? It is carb load day. And they were like, "Oh, okay."
No idea.
Never heard of it, didn't understand the concept. I was like, "Lads, this is why I play rugby. Like, you can eat whatever you want, like big bowls of spaghetti bolognese, like what your favorite dinner, get it into you. Two breakfasts, two lunches, two dinners, snack, snack, snack. And then on Saturday, when it's game day, you can, you don't even have to eat anything, just small snacks to keep you going. Like,
Snacks.
because your snacks, because like your belly is, sensitive and things like that. So tomorrow, eat, eat, eat. And we were in this, big fancy hotel with all the other teams, and like, we were smaller, like no doubt about it, visibly smaller, and they were coming out with the plates piled up, piled up, and they're like delighted with themselves. They were like, "We're winning, we're winning." Like they felt like they even said that afterwards, like, we definitely won on Carblow Day. Like they were getting two big massive, and then the word in Lao for more is "ow eat." So they were
I'll
like,
eat.
"Oh eat," banging the table. Like it was such a hilarious moment for us. And then, like, honestly, by the Sunday afternoon when they were coming into their last game, I was like, I'll just tone down the warm up now. They must be exhausted. No, they had so much energy because I'd say they'd never carb
Wow.
loaded before like that. They had so much energy,
The
and like,
cells in their body must have been like, fucking give it to me. Like, yeah, yeah, yeah. Just absolutely loaded where we would be. Like, I'm fond of carb loading every day of the week, to be honest with you.
I know it's a danger when you're not playing high performance sport.
Yeah. Yeah. I've got goats and still a bit of house building left, but Jesus Christ, I need to back off on the carbs.
Yeah, I did eat grilled goat in Laos. It's very nice.
I'm glad I have the earphones in here because they'd probably hear you outside there. Different.
Horse Woodman Wycliffe.
No,
He
to
dubbed
be,
up.
yeah, yeah. No, hey, listen, I've had it myself. Wouldn't be the greatest. Wouldn't be the greatest, but
If
yeah.
it's grilled enough,
Is
it's
it
fine.
great? Okay, all right. We had it in Sardinia, and
Oh yeah.
it wasn't hectic. No, It wasn't hectic. Do you know? I mean, you go along with it because it is the local dish or whatever, but at the same time, you're
Yeah.
going, feed a lamb now. Do you know?
Oh yeah. She's true. There's no difference really. But did you have goat's blood?
I didn't. I didn't. How does one consume goat's blood now?
Well, I
You
was
you threw that out there, and like that's a fucking thing. Like,
I was force fed it by a drunk lowman in a pub who was like, "You have to try, you have to try." I was like, "Ah," and he was like, "Yeah, shoving it down me gob." So
well, I
but it
think
was
we just found our clip for this fucking episode anyway.
it
It
was
was
in the jelly form as well. It was
oh
jelly.
lovely.
Like
That makes it
jelly.
all the much more palatable. Christ, love,
Mm.
yeah, jelly goat's blood in Lao by a drunk
Yes,
fella.
yes, drunk
Well, sure.
lowman.
I mean, yeah, there's I'm sure there's a story in that somewhere that we should probably we'll do that on the extended version. Here, listen, we may as well get into it a small bit. There's no point in talking about the shit show that went on in France because it's been talked to death. We know it was an absolute fucking shit show. Uh, it was fucking
I
diabolical.
was just about to add something though. Like I think a lot of people were like, "Look, we're missing a lot of players." It's like, and
I'm not buying that at all.
France weren't. No, no,
Yeah,
sorry. Now, who were France missing? Like Aldred gone, Fiku gone, Peno gone, fucking Winnie Antonio in hospital. Like,
yeah, yeah,
not their one of their regular starters. Who else? Like, oh, Thibaut Flamand,
yeah.
who fucking unbelievable player. Oh, I didn't remark. Is he's not included for this weekend? Is he?
I didn't even look. I've only
Yeah,
just been
yeah.
I've just focused on the Ireland one that came out earlier today.
Oh
Um,
yes.
but like,
Anyway, yeah. Not
but
like it matters.
you're right. It didn't seem to. It was like come at the man, come at the hour. Ramos just steps up, and you're like, well, Jesus Christ, yeah. I knew you were class, but that's ludicrous. Like
Yeah.
ludicrous. Like Dupont actually had a kind of a just a low key day. An unbelievable day for a normal scrum half, but a low key day. You know what I mean? Not doing ludicrous things. No. It was. You can dress it up whatever way you want. Ireland were no more
Yeah.
fucking ready for that match than the man in the moon. They needed another 3 weeks to get ready for that match, or either that they were completely bet before they went out there because they were blaming Jacob Stockdale for not getting the ball back. Yeah, right enough. But there wasn't a single fucking player waiting for it if you did get it back.
Why were we kicking?
I know we
What is
were.
the box kick? Like the Jameson Gibson Park smart man.
Hmm.
Like, what was the message at halftime to keep going? Because he didn't even look at the other players. They just literally went automatically straight into the caterpillar to kick it again. I was like, if my if my Laos team did that, I'd be like, what the fuck are you doing? What are you like genuinely like what are you thinking? So you're right, we don't have to get too much into it. Like I think the real test of the French game is going to be by the end of the tournament. Was it a flash in the pan, or are we going to see more or less the same shit every week?
Yeah, it could be. I mean, like the kicking thing seems to be coming into rugby on a huge scale. And I'll be honest with you, it's making rugby a bit shite. Do you know this box kicking where you're like, well, because there's no escort, and you're like, yeah, but
You need to be able to challenge.
still at
Like,
the same time, like if you're on your 10th box kick and it ain't working, you're like, okay, do you know what? Let's on the next kick. Let's try a crossfield. Or let's just try on the next kick, let's just pass it to each other. How's that? And see where that fucking gets us. Because to talk about being able to read us like a book. I was like, all right, we know what's happening here. Like, there was no cuteness in this. And there's something inside me kind of goes, oh, maybe he's playing a really long game here and he's making us look pure shite. And then we'll be unreal come the World Cup. And I'm like, Tom, that's fucking stupid.
I I don't mind that, and we actually talk about this all the time. And look,
Yeah,
fine, maybe you are playing the long game, but if that's the case, like I said already, like why is Stockdale and McCluskey re-emerging? Now, to be fair, McCluskey has done like well, but you shouldn't be wheeling out the old players like that have already kind of passed their form. Sorry, everyone's entitled to regain form, but that wasn't it. Like, do you know that? What well, where do you turn next? Like this is the time to play the younger players. And again, like I said, I got like dragged through the cold for saying we need younger players, but younger players instead of wheeling out, re-emerging older players that haven't performed in a while. Fine, Jacob Stockdale's been has been playing better, but like, where are the young players that are like lighting it up, that are like, oh, they deserve a go in a green jersey now?
Well, it does. Like, you know what? Let's park it and see what will we jump into the whatchamacallit, the selection for today. And I know
Mm.
they brought him forward, but he hasn't. They brought him in for training. That Bryn Ward lad. He came. Brought him from the twenties game, or was it
Mm.
twenties game, or was it the select 15 he was on the other day?
Select 15.
Yeah, it's like 15. They brought
Mm.
him in, but again, now he hasn't made the cut. Like, and instead, starting at centre is going to be again. It's Gary Ringrose and Stuart McCluskey, who all for one line break towards the end of the match that Gary Ringrose made.
Oh,
Like the lads aren't on form. Like the
no,
like
Ringrose not on form for a while. He needs to be shuffled out so he can find it. Like you can't really be expected to find your form in those circumstances. Like
I
so what?
I can't work it out. Like why? Do you know they're talking about Jude Postlewaite. Like he's a put him in there. Like Tom
Mm.
Farrell is there. Look at even at the right down the future and look at who Munster brought over in Dan Kelly, a good fucking
Mm.
player in amongst it. Like put him in
Mm.
there. See, because at this stage they're not going to learn the whole pile. I mean, is this a boot up the hole? Like what boot up the hole is it? Somebody was saying the other day about he was a famous NBA coach. He was saying there's only one thing. Never mind your speeches and your rousing this, rousing that. There's one player to get a good player going who has gone bad, and that's arse on bench. That's the one thing that'll get him going. And I mean, like what now? Okay, to give him their due, right? So he's switched in Robert Balakoon. Tommy O'Brien has gone. Great to see it. They brought in Cormac Izujuku. Great. I think Caelan Doris is fucking lucky. I think he's lucky because he was non-existent the other day for a captain. He was non-existent.
It's good that he has swapped Jack Conan in though, because there was
Yeah,
kind of this danger that he was like, look, your role is arse on bench now. So thankfully that he has been able to swap it around. Let's see how that goes. Like
yeah.
that could be good. And it's slightly kicking the arse for Doris as well, because if Doris was performing well, Farrell would have been happy to leave Jack Conan on the bench. Like if Doris is at his
I
best,
get you. Yeah, yeah, yeah. It's nearly one step towards the door. Not that number 7 is, but it's one step away. It's
If
like
my position is 8 and I'm being switched over, I think he switched him to 6, right? Or 7. Am I
he's
wrong?
gone over to well, he's gone over to 7 on the lineup here. I mean, it
Oh,
could easily.
sorry. You're right. Sorry, he is in at 7. If I was D8, I'd feel like that was.
Well,
I'd be like, oh,
a better number 8 has just been put in your place,
mm.
technically. So it's
Yeah, yeah,
like
yeah,
you better
100%.
be better than what Josh was and what Nick Timoney was when he came on last weekend. Because Josh was anonymous again. Nick
Oh,
Timoney, Nick Timoney came on and actually had a right bit of go about him. Had far more power than Prendergast had. Prendergast was too light for that scenario. He was. There's no way he has the power to be in that scenario. And again, he's worked his shot. Obviously, Cormac Izujuku is a tough
mm,
bastard.
mm,
So I think the most surprising one for me is that Joe McCarthy is starting. I'm not. Joe hasn't. He's been a fucking liability, and you
mm.
you want him, yes, for his strength and his bit of, but he's straight up he has not been offering what he's supposed to be offering. Like, how is
No.
this a kick up the hole for Joe McCarthy?
I think for Joe McCarthy and a few of them, Doris is the same, Van der Fleer is the same. What we're expecting is like their previous form, their previous capabilities. Like we know what he can do. Like Joe McCarthy, he's already proved himself at this level. So, he's being trusted to try and bring that. So maybe he's training really well. But you're right, you can't train well and then play like a sack of shite. Like you have to you have to perform, and then you're right about Arse on bench. Like that's why I suppose that's why James Lowe was dropped. He hasn't been performing. I feel like with James Lowe as well, like he's uh maybe did his second baby like take his toll on him like personally. Like as he's been like up a lot at night. And I know a lot of players go through this. Everyone's entitled to go off form. But I was afraid that he was just going to keep putting him in there and keep playing him, but actually he has dropped him for last week. So let's see if he can produce something. That'll be a good case study now. Is that the firework up the arse for Lowe that he needed?
Yeah, yeah. It actually a perfect case study. Now that you mention it, they dropped. They dropped. There was 5 or 6 players dropped completely out of it. Tommy O'Brien, Jacob Stockdale, Josh van der Fleer, Cian Prendergast completely gone out of it. I don't see Cian Prendergast making it back in a hurry. I just don't. Like it's if Josh comes back in good form, but Prendergast he needs I think he needs more timber on him or something, but he just doesn't have that animal that Timony has.
Mm.
We're skirting around it.
Oh,
Yeah.
oh no.
So
Oh,
so Craig Casey starts. Edwin Adogbo, who you are this evening, your pseudonym is Edwin Adogbo, which is class. Delighted for him to make it in. Be very excited to see how he goes on the international stage. We haven't even seen much of him at the Munster stage, but be right excited to see how he goes. Craig Casey starts. I wonder what his thinking is there because Gibson Park hasn't fallen off, like, but
but it's still the Italy game, and I know like we can't be fucking counting our chickens at all, but you still
yeah,
like
yeah, yeah.
I prefer to get a hiding from Italy tomorrow with this squad than with the fucking starting squad.
Yeah,
But
yeah, yeah, yeah.
this squad is still good enough. Like you still do have to shuffle your pack against Italy. Like, I don't think this is all purely on performance. I think a lot of this is game time as well.
So we come
I
to
don't
number.
want that. We can cut it here.
What is the thinking? All right. Let's not even criticize it too much because I'm just interested to the thinking first. Don't be. You're hiding, Anna. This is an audio-based podcast for the most part. Okay, we. What's the thinking behind Prendergast here? Like, has Farrell got himself down the lane so far now? Because I've had cars in the past, right, where I'm going, fuck that. I was a terrible buy. But fucking hell, I ain't changing till the summer. I'm not changing till the summer. I'll just stick with the bastard thing. If I can just get it through the NCT, or at least keep on pushing out the NCT, I'll get the scrap value of this fucking thing at some stage, maybe if I can't sell it.
That's
Like,
fine. But your other car is sitting in the garage.
I know. But for some reason, I got a Figari 2 years ago that I thought that car was no good for me anymore. And for some reason now I'm driving this thing. And here's the thing. I don't know, has the one in the fucking garage gone half rusty or what? Can I even insure it now at this stage? Because I'm after fucking that car. And I'm probably after fucking up this car by driving it too fucking fresh on the road. So now I have two kind of gammy cars who don't know what the fuck they're doing. What is my thinking here, Anna? And if anybody tuned in right now, they're going, I thought this is a fucking rugby podcast. These two, this
Not
is,
a bad analogy.
I tried to dance around it there to take the sting out of it, to be honest with you. So what is like is the hope that he washes off the bad juju from last weekend?
I'm sorry, but that is not how it works.
No, but what is the thinking? Because if you play as badly as that chap did play, as Sam Prendergast played last weekend, and like it can be dressed up every which way, which it has been for some unknown fucking reason. And I've never seen a player to get such leeway off the media. I've never seen it. The boy can play URC well. This is the clear and obvious, and what would be said about any other player coming in. He's got good, like comparatively, let's say to Jeremy Lockman, who they're going, oh, for fuck's sake, he's like fifth in the line. He did exactly what was asked of him last weekend. Locked out the scrum. Scrum was fucking sound as a pound. Nothing, no big ups for Jeremy. Now, I'm not saying he should have gotten it or he shouldn't have gotten it, But how is the media so soft on Sam Prendergast when he's volleying the fucking ball up the field to a team, the greatest team in the world right now at broken play, when he shovels a fucking complete, and I don't say this often on the podcast, but a cunt of a ball to Tommy O'Brien in the fucking dead ball area. And Tommy looked at him like, I'm going to fucking bust you, you bastard. Like, the plaudits that were coming across on the television for Jack Crowley going into 10 and fucking taking control of the situation, shifting it to fucking Prendergast. Prendergast, they went, oh, what a lovely pass. The boy, poor boy, got so dumbfounded. Nick Timothy just showed up on his fucking shoulder and went, give me the fucking ball. You know what I mean? And he just kind of just plopped it into his lap. You're like, how can a boy play this bad and be put out and out again? Like, what?
It's so lousy. I can't believe that we're talking about this again, and Sam Prendergast hasn't been given the time to sort things out. He's sorting his stuff out on the top stage. Like, he's figuring, and like I get it, you do need game time, but wasn't that what last year's Six Nations was for? Like, I do think this is how it looks. Whether we're right or wrong, it looks like Andy Farrell has a total personal preference. Number one, for Sam Prendergast, yes, but number two, against Crowley. Like, the fact that he brought him on last week at 15.
Yeah.
Like, wouldn't even... Okay, so, and again, I'm repeating myself. I'm very sorry if people have listened to both podcasts, but I know that you'll know what I'm talking about here. Do you remember when Johnny Sexton came for Rogers' jersey?
Yeah.
That was such a fierce time. Like, half of Cork was ready to go out with their hand torches, fucking burning the ground down, because we just didn't want Rog, the king, to step aside. And Sexton was coming for him and coming for him and coming for him. And then eventually there was Sexton was doing so well every time he got on the field and Rog would come off. And like, Rog was then starting to, make mistakes and he's under pressure, and like, Sexton dislodges him. And he has done all that fighting to make him the player he is, and to be like, fuck, I deserve to be here. I've worked so hard. Like, the fight to get into the jersey made Johnny Sexton, partly made him the player that he was. Obviously, he had potential to be world class always, but that fight, that mentality of knowing, like, I've got to be completely perfect to get his jersey off him because of Roger's reputation. And then the fight between Leinster and Munster and like on the Champions Cup stage, and he finally like gets him out of the seat, and then Rog starts performing again and takes the jersey back off him. So there was starting like being switched up, but it was based on performance, not potential. Like, Johnny Sexton was never handed a jersey for potentially how good he could be. He was made to fight and fight and fight. And like, how you could just be handed an international jersey. Maybe it happens on an Italy weekend, maybe it happens in a summer tour. It doesn't happen for a full Six Nations campaign. It's embarrassing. It has scarred both players, because now Jack Crowley, he knows, like, if it was me, I'd be like, the coach hates me. And everyone's like, they don't. They just la la la. You could say whatever you want to me. I'd be like, the coach hates me. Yeah. And I could be the best player in the world. Sure, we were talking about it last year, weren't we? That like Jack Crowley was envisioning a Lions jersey. And then he ends up like playing like shit because he's under so much pressure, because I know that feeling so well when you feel like a coach doesn't like you. So then when you make a mistake, it festers, because you're like, oh my God, they're going to use this as an excuse to never select me again. And that is what's happening. I'm sorry if I'm wrong, but this is how it looks like from the outside. And then on the other side, Sam Prendergast is being handed a jersey. So that mentality of fighting, which is good for a player, is not there.
Sure, that's how it is since time has begun in every sport, team sport. Is
We're
you
talking about the 10 jersey here, so
Yeah, the
it's
10 jersey is very important because it's
fine.
such
You
a
do need to give people time. If it was Johnny Sexton and Prendergast was coming to take his jersey, and we know that we can't send Johnny Sexton to the next World Cup, okay, maybe you hand them the jersey then because you're like, okay, fine. But when you're being handed it against someone who's pretty much your own age, who will, still be around at the next World Cup, who already has that experience, like Jack Crowley is young enough to bring us like a whole new era.
Yeah, but that's exactly what did happen. Crowley was kept as the apprentice until Sexton could get through the World Cup. Then the jersey was handed to Jack, and Jack went and won us the Six Nations. The following year, the jersey was just yoinked off Jack's back and handed straight to Sam, which even Sam Prendergast would have to go, this is odd. I should surely have to fucking work under this guy for 2 years first and fight him. Like we haven't fought for this at all, and you just yanked it off his back after he won the Six fucking Nations and played a great Six Nations.
I know, but there was a Ross Byrne Jack Crowley fight for the predecessor of Sexton.
Right enough, yeah. But it went to Crowley, and Crowley was the holder of it. Did nothing wrong. And I'd say only they could have beaten England. They would have could have won the Grand Slam, but they won the Six Nations. And then it's just yoinked off his back and handed it to the new guy. We're like, in any job, you'd go, what the fuck just happened?
But it's so unfair now because what if, okay, he's sticking with his guns. Obviously, Prendergast is the chosen one. That's it. We might as well fucking get over it. But it's going to haunt him forever. It will be like unless we win the World Cup, this will have been like one of the biggest mistakes that was made because
yeah. But
yeah,
we're no further down the road than we were in 2023. Do you know what I mean? We're no further down the road. We're like Sam still hasn't learned to fucking tackle. Do you know what I mean? He's still doing stupid shit, like volleying the fucking ball 50 yards into France's hands on a wet day. Like what? Like
the kick was pretty good, to be fair.
It was if you were fucking playing fucking on the beach and having to crack with the lads.
I know.
But you boosted straight to a team that thrived in the top 14 on broken play. Watch one evening of the top 14, you go, oh, I'm never kicking this ball ever to these lads because they love this shit. They run it from their own fucking try line. They'll run it from the fucking stands. It's meat and drink to these fuckers. But I can't, I don't know where, like, this is, do you know what it is? It's the pig ignorance of continuing with the same fucking kicking regime that we did last weekend. It's the same thing. If you put the sign of madness is if you keep trying the same thing, exactly the same thing, and keep on getting the same result, and then keep fucking trying it. Like,
do you know what's sorry.
Go on. No, I was just saying, let's put a fucking twist on it.
Yeah.
Put both the boys on the fucking bench and start fucking Harry Byrne for the crack. You know what I mean? Do something. But don't keep telling me that the boy did what he did last weekend and he has continued to done. He's never performed for Ireland, in my opinion. He's never. He can perform for Leinster because it's on. They go, well, it's Leinster playing against the fucking Dragons. Sure, he can have a fucking whopper and have a fucking highlights reel. I'd have one. Do you know what I mean?
Well, sorry now. Look, if he is playing whoppers for his club, this is what we want in Ireland, right? We did ask for this. Like, if you're, bringing those young players, show a bit of variety. But that was the thing for last. Wasn't it kind of said that, okay, Sam, it's your turn now. And then after that, we're going to pick. Like, there was no intention of this wasn't an audition at all. It's like, when they send out job interviews, but they already have hired.
Yeah.
So, like, give him a go, fine, but he's clearly not ready yet. So that's like, okay, we gave it a shot. Crowley, we're happy to hand you back the reins, but he's not even allowing Crowley touch the reins. Like, it feels like it's embarrassing. It's been handled horrifically bad.
Yeah, yeah, and it's almost like I don't know what I mean. You wonder where they're going to probably start Casey in this game anyway. But the idea that people were talking, maybe put Jack Crowley in at number 12. So if that's the case, but you're like, sure, what are we doing then? Like, what are we doing
All I
then?
know is if I'm an Italian player waiting for the Irish team to come out and I see who's at number 10, I'm like,
Yeah, 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 yeah. It does seem to be like, I mean, like the argument that I heard people during the week was, could we not just hide him a little bit better? Like, what? Did fucking what? Why would you do that when he's one of the 15 starters and he's to be hidden by somebody? Do you know what I mean? Would you not get him back a bit deeper and or
if your attack is good enough, sure.
yeah, 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 yeah. But I mean, that was the whole thing for bringing him in last weekend. They were saying, well, and these are all in speculation things. Some of these moves, some of these selections could have been pre-season, pre-tournament. Gone. He's gonna have this, and this, and we don't know is a shit or bust. It doesn't seem to be because, albeit, there was lads that performed slightly better that have been dropped straight out of the fucking squad. And he had absolute fucking howlers. 7 missed tackles, the most of any person on the team. 7.
Probably the most of any player in the Six Nations at the weekend.
Like you can't have 7 missed tackles.
Out of 10, like at your first receiver position, like, oh yeah, it's look, talk about forever. I think we might as well just start talking really positively about this whole experience.
Well, I'm looking forward to seeing Balakoon, and I wonder, as you said, a good case study for Lowe to see does this put a rocket up his hole? Because I'd say it will. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
Now the only
hope so,
thing
yeah.
is, he was probably looking at Jacob Stockdale last weekend, going, "I'll be back in next week." Do you know, because Jacob had a bit of a fucking howler, like.
Mm.
But at the same time, it'll be interesting to see if he can put a fucking rocket up his hole. But seeing Robert Balakoon start at least puts a cat amongst the pigeons of anybody who thought they were nailed on, in the backs. Albeit Prendergast probably was going, cool, nice, But that
Yeah.
and Izuchuku in the second row or at number 6. At least you can go fair enough. There's just I'm happy enough with it all. I'm just surprised Ringrose, Prendergast, and McCarthy are in there. I thought Ryan came on and ran around like a fucking madman last weekend, which is exactly what you want from a stung player on the bench.
I
He,
I wonder how much Ringrose is aiding Sam Prendergast in training and stuff because like you can make all the changes you want, but you need enough expertise there to kind of buoy
mm,
the rest of them. So I'm thinking he's good for Prendergast in training maybe, and he talks to him a lot. And if you change that out, I don't know, like I just
that's that's a valid point. It's a valid point. Um, yeah. Hey, listen, you talk about switching it out for Italy and Chersonia. Fucking Italy looked fucking good. Although Jesus Christ,
eh, they didn't really
no, they
like.
didn't. It would be hard for anybody to look good in that fucking swimming pool. Like that was mental, wasn't it? The amount of
You know, you know who was still there? The fucking pigeons.
were they? I didn't even
They
cop
were. They were still there. I was like, I can't believe the pigeons are out in this weather
sick
behind the
bat.
goalpost.
Yeah, but
You
sick
know who's
bastard
back
hard.
in is Angie.
Is he back in? Because I was raging for him being. Although, in all fairness,
Oh,
that wasn't a day for him to be out. Do you know what I mean? You keep a pony like him inside in the fucking shed. Don't let him out in the wet like that. He's
sorry,
a.
I didn't actually check the team, but he was training this week, so I got excited. I was like, oh, he'll be back in. See him running around in the Aviva. Big fan, big fan.
Hold on,
Um,
Italy team to play. Let me just. Ireland. Is this Ireland? Never mind. Winning formula. They're staying with the winning formula, so that's what Irish Times is.
oh, okay,
Okay, so it would seem I'm not seeing his name there.
okay.
I always
Well,
do like when I see somebody called Ferrari. Do you know what I mean? Simone
Men
Ferrari.
Menoncello is one of the coolest names in there. But
It sounds like a nice dessert. Or am I thinking limoncello?
yeah,
Okay.
limoncello is the shot they give you after,
Let's be honest here now, Anna. Almost all their second names are class. Do you know what I mean?
including Louis Lina. He's like the most Italian of them all.
I know, but fair folks to him. Fair folks to him.
Tim is right, yeah. I was delighted for him last week. I thought he did really well, obviously.
He is a class bit of stuff, in fairness, isn't he? Kind of quietly goes about his business. Nobody really talks too much about him, but I like him. I like the way he quietly.
You
Just
know,
go on, sorry.
what I was going to say, what I'd like to happen this weekend now is a good, like, put the shits up Ireland in the first half, like a good close contest, and then in the last 20 minutes, Ireland run away with it. That's a kind of a general formula against Italy anyway, isn't it? Like, we often shit the bed in the first half because it's Italy and you're like kind of relaxed, you've made your changes, and then you kind of sort it out for a little bit later because you're like, we cannot lose. But at some stage, Italy's going to beat us, like, in our home. And they beat us last year in Rome. So, you know.
Yeah, I do. Yeah, I
If
do.
I was in the Italy camp, like straight away after the match, I'd be like, Dublin, next week, we are winning that game.
I don't know. Like much like Scotland last weekend, I don't know if we have the mental fortitude to pull it out of the fire if we find ourselves down like 12 points in the second half. I don't
I
know.
think they could in a kind of a panic mode. I think they could.
Gotta hope so. Yeah, I suppose in a panic mode, but like if you're leaving it down to your out half to grab the game by the scruff of the neck.
Let's see.
Yeah,
Let's see.
let's see. Let's see. Jesus, this has been great being back talking ruggers. Fucking
Woo!
wandering around talking to the goats. They've no interest in the sport whatsoever.
You've been talking to the goats. I've been eating the goats.
Oh yeah. Jesus, yeah. Maybe I should threaten them with fucking eating the bastards. They might start behaving themselves a small bit better.
Tell them I'll be up. I'll be calling with my grill.
I never got to talk to you quickly. What
Oh,
I gotta
yeah.
say, what an adorable, wholesome, lovely people you are from. Oh my God. I hosted I think for Anna's, I suppose, community, Morn Abbey last weekend.
Well, it's actually not my
It's
parish, but it
it's
is
not.
where I drink.
Y-
So I'm
w-
like an accepted member of Mournabbey community.
Judging by the amount and the seriousness those people took their drinking last weekend, I would say drinking among them is probably more important than actually living there. If you get me, like they were unbelievably good drinkers, but the most wholesome, lovely bunch of people. Ah, to bring a tear to a glass eye, how lovely they were. Oh,
Ah,
they were lovely, and I met the landlady of. She caught me the second I walked through the door of your favorite pub, Derry's, and she goes, "I was only talking with a friend of yours the other day." I went, "Hello." She goes, "Oh, you don't know me." I said, "Anna." She goes, "Will I give her a message?" I'm going to give her a message myself. She goes, "Will I give her? I said, tell her she should have been here on the night." But what a lovely, lovely bunch of people.
well, I had to say to them, I was like, lads, Tom is my like podcast buddy, and we have said I don't know how many times now on the podcast we need to record an episode in Derry Murphy's, so that has to be done now.
Oh, it does have to be done now because I think we'll get a decent crowd. We had 650 people there the other night. And they were pretty much all locked into it. I didn't get to sneak in the pod at any point. I was kind of on corporate duties, but
No, 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 no.
no, enough people knew about it for a while. I was actually very surprised how many people I actually had known from my living in Cork days have moved to that area. But it was class. It was class. It put brighten an evening after Ireland getting bet and Tip getting beaten in the league, albeit by Cork that evening. But I know
We need a bit of that in the Irish team, a bit of fisticuff energy, brawling.
Yeah. What do we say about cultures? More cultures in the Ireland setup. It'll answer all the problems. No more of these fancy feckers who drink wine and stuff like that. Nah. You want a fella with barbed wire hands That's what you need. Just pulling. Imagine him getting his hands on that fancy French fucker. But hey, case in point, and I leave. I would talk no more rugby on this. Guess who the best culture rugby player is in the world? He's the greatest player in the world right now.
AD or Peter Steff?
AD. Peter Steff is a big culture.
Well.
Yeah, he's a culture as well. But yeah, an absolute culture is Antoine Dupont. Yeah.
Yeah.
A mountainy culture. Look at the strength of him, sure. Half goat he is.
Half Portia Woodman Wycliffe. It all makes sense now.
There you go, exactly.
It's funny. I need a light or something here because I'm fading into the darkness.
I like this. Yeah, you're turning more and more into a character from Harry Potter or something.
In my budgie smuggler hoodie. But you know what? I do need to run because my teammate from La Rochelle, who's from Switzerland, is currently going around Ireland in a camper van, and they're calling to Mallow for bacon and cabbage, and then I'm going to bring him into Albert's and the Old Fiddle for a pint in Mallow.
You see, only you would be able to sign off a podcast like that. I was just knocking a hole in the wall for a fella last night. Did you know what I mean? We're both totally on brand. She's sitting over there in her budgie smugglers, about to go show some whimsical people from Switzerland / La Rochelle a local happy pub, and I have to call up to your man to see if the wall is still standing. Right.
I won't swap places yet.
No. Outstanding being back. Let's see how we roll this weekend. Mind the rucks.
Mind the rucks.
It's the Banana and Bear